Hi, I'm Mrs.D Math. Thanks for joining me today. We're going to be covering scale drawings in 7th grade math. Let's go ahead and get started. In the last video, we talked about similar figures. If you missed that one, you can go back and watch that first. But we're going to use those similar figures in order to find a missing side length of an image. In this example, we have two rectangles. One is a 2 by 7 and the other one is 6 by an unknown length. And we are going to use the fact that these are similar figures in order to find that missing side length. We want to set up a proportion. So a proportion is just two equal ratios. And these need to be proportional as far as the side lengths that go together. So you can either put side lengths that go on the same shape together, or you can consider side lengths that correspond to go together. We're going to go ahead and stick with the side lengths that correspond in this case. I can see that 2 corresponds to 6 on the other rectangle. That means that 7 goes with 2, so they have to be across from each other, goes with the X for the other rectangle. Now I'm going to use this and my knowledge of solving equations in order to figure out the missing value of X. I need to do this by seeing that if they are equal proportions, that means that the cross products, so 2 times X, is equal to the other cross products, 6 times 7. And I know that 6 times 7 is 42. I have a one-step equation, so I'm going to divide both sides by 2. That cancels on this side, which tells me that X equals 21. So this missing side length should be 21 centimeters. There are multiple ways that I can solve this. If I go back to my original problem here, I can tell that 2 goes into 6 times 3, which means the X value should be 7 times 3. So that would be 21 as well. That is a way to either check your answer, or that's just another way that you could solve it. Now, instead of having two shapes that are side by side, we actually have a triangle inside of a larger triangle. It does tell us that these triangles are similar. We need to find the length of DE. There's a couple of ways I can see which ones are going to be corresponding. So I can see that DE is the first two letters of the triangle DEC, and AB is the first two letters of triangle ABC, which tells me that side length AB is similar to side length DE. I also know that side length BC is similar to side length EC in the larger triangle. So this triangle side length here is similar to the larger triangle side length. This helps me in setting up my proportions. So I can set it up using the letters first. AB corresponds to DE, and BC corresponds to EC. If I plug in the values of the side lengths themselves, then I can solve for X. So AB is 10 over DE, which is X, that's the value I'm looking for. BC is 8, and then EC, I have to be careful. EC is this entire length combined, so EC is 12. This time, if I look, I can't divide 10 and 8 or 8 and 12 evenly. So I'm going to go with my cross products on this one. 8 times X is 8X, and that equals 10 times 12, which is 120. My last step is to divide both sides by 8. And when I divide 120 by 8, 8 goes into 12 one time. I have 4 left over, and 8 goes into 40 5 times. I can see that the missing side length X is 15 inches. Now let's look at a real world situation. Jan is having a house built and is looking at the blueprints. on the blueprint, every 1/4 inch is equal to 1 foot. We're going to use the scale drawing to find the dimensions of the living room. So it even shows us in the image itself that 1 inch is each of these lengths. So that means that this side of the living room is 5 inches and this side is 6 inches. We need to figure out how many feet that is in the actual living room. I'm going to have to set up a proportion, and I'm going to use my initial scale in order to find each of these lengths, the 5 inches and the 6 inches. I'm going to put inches over feet. In this case, a 1/4 inch is equal to 1 foot. I know that that's going to equal 5 inches over an unknown amount of feet. It's also going to equal 6 inches over an unknown. I'm going to go ahead and solve the first proportion, which is the 5 over x. So a 1/4 times x is 0.25x equals 5 times 1 is 5. And my last step here is to divide by 0.25. So x equals, anytime I'm dividing and I have decimals like this with quarters, it's easy to think of dollars or money. And I know that I would need 4 quarters for 1 whole, and I have 5 wholes. So 4 times 5 is 20. That means that this side length of my actual living room is 20 feet. Now I need to do the same thing with my 6 and x. So I'm going to set this proportion up over here. I'm finished with the 5x. A 1/4 times x is 25/100 x. 6 times 1 is 6. And again, my last step, I'm going to divide by 0.25. And if I needed 20 feet or 20 quarters to go for 5, then I'm going to need 4 more to go with 6. So that would be 24 feet. Once you figure out what the conversion is, we can see that we need 4 of these quarters for every foot. And so I can do 4 times 6 to get my total feet, or 4 times 5 to get that total feet. So now I can tell that the dimensions of the living room are 20 by 24 feet squared. So proportions are also useful when you need to find the height of something that is really tall. Jim needs to know the height of the tree in his yard. He's going to use the length of the tree's shadow and his shadow to find the height of the tree. If you measure these both at the same time, then you should have accurate measurements, or at least something very similar or close. We have 3 dimensions here, and we are looking for the height of the tree, which is our x. So let's set up this proportion based on shadows and height. So we're going to put height over shadow, and I need to figure out the height of the tree, and the shadow of the tree is 28. Those have to go together. And then I also have the height of the person that goes on top and the shadow of the person. So I have the tree in the first ratio and the person in the second ratio. The shadows are on the bottom. Now I could cross multiply, or I can look for maybe a simpler option. And I see that 4 and 6, I can't divide those evenly, but I do know that 4 goes into 28 evenly, which is times 7. So in order to find the height of the tree, I'm going to have to multiply the height of the person times 7. And 6 times 7 is 42. So that tells me that the height of the tree is 42 feet. This isn't always going to be completely accurate, but you at least have an estimate or a number close to the height of the tree. Another thing you could use for this, if you aren't able to get shadows or measure shadows, is maybe a picture. If you have a picture of the person and the tree, and you know the height of the person, you can measure the height of the tree and the person in the picture and use the actual height of the person to figure out the height of the tree. It's also good whenever you're solving proportions to look for the shortcut first to see if one of the numbers goes into another number evenly. It has to be a number above it, below it, or beside it. It cannot be the number that is diagonal from it. But if you can't figure out something easy, like in this case we had 4 go into 28 7 times, then you can always do the cross products equaling each other to set up your equation. And that works every single time. I'm Mrs.D Math. Thanks for joining me today for Scale Drawings in 7th grade math. I hope you have a great day. Bye!